My face looks red. This lighting is terrible, but here we are. So there's a storm outside. Tonight is one of the coldest nights of the year. I am in my house and I have power and I have heat, but it says it's -9 outside, which means that it is colder than that. And so I was just thinking that there's people outside right now trying to live and trying to survive. And I was thinking more about how, I don't know, I was stressing about what's happening this week and how I'm gonna meet deadlines, and then all I could think about was that it's snowing and freezing outside, and there's people outside who are trying to live. And it really just called me out. And what do I do with that now? So my name is Addison, and I am a third-year BSW student. I'm doing a practicum with Impact Society here in Abbotsford, and I get to be a part of the BEAP program's pilot, helping clean up the streets. I'm super excited about it. So we just wrapped up week 2. It snowed really hard this week. It was really hard on everyone because it's week 2 in a project and you're trying to keep up and get things going, but then it snows so hard that no one can leave their house and people are stuck on the streets. So it was a real bummer. But in spite of that, everyone rallied. Instead of working to pick up garbage and clean up the city and do all that sorts of stuff, it turned into like a more snow removal type deal where people would shovel people's driveways, sidewalks, businesses in like below, it's like -14 wind chill in the snow. People are out there cleaning up our city. So it's amazing just to hear that kind of dedication about this program and the people involved. I have learned how much I don't know anything about even the city. I didn't know the extent or the current condition of our city and residents, and the need for growth and restoration and healing that needs to take place. I just didn't know. I've been feeling really upset this last week about the conditions of what the homeless are living in, and like my city's response to it. So like not just even the city, like the people in Abbotsford, like I don't know, I mean, I've been called out personally. What am I actually doing for the people around me? I think I've just been really upset with people's ability to be so detached from like what's actually happening in our local area. Like we keep shouting about other cities or other countries and like what they need to change, but what do we need to change? And what is our role? Like what is each person's role in that change? So maybe your role looks just like bringing gloves to someone, or maybe your role looks like actually lobbying for change and changing laws. You know, the bigger the group, the louder the sound, and the more change that sound can make. There is needs from our local community. There's always room for support with money or without money. So I think that's what really calls me out. Once you know the level of what people have been through, I start crying. Emotional. I'm gonna breathe it off a little. I just hope that I get my heart right in this pilot project, and as I continue to kind of feel myself through it, I hope that I learn how to get my heart right. Week 3. So this week it snowed a lot compared to even the windstorm. The snow was worse. We had multiple days of snow which postponed a lot of the meetings. We also have issues with insurance moving forward, and so until we can figure out who will be able to fund the insurance, we won't be able to continue with the project. I'm just hoping that we'll figure out where to get insurance, or that someone will come to the rescue and donate money for insurance. It's just too much for the pilot to pay for independently. I'm learning a lot about like social policy and kind of what goes into developing a program and how many different things you have to think of when you're growing a new program, especially a program that's kind of out of the box and never been done before. You have to think about a lot of things that other people don't have to think about. I'm learning a lot about how much time people put in behind the scenes that we don't know about when things are getting developed and birthed. We don't know how many hours and how many roadblocks people hit in order to push things forward to the next level. I can see why people give up on changing things or like pushing for change, because it seems that over and over again these barriers and roadblocks and challenges continue to arise, and it's just difficult to look past it and continue to push forward through it. I don't understand how the most vulnerable are the ones that seem to pay the price for everything. Like, keeping the streets clean is a bonus for all of us, right? I'm just really hoping that there's a miracle. Week 4. Sorry for another sickness. I guess hanging out with a lot of different people all the time is not great for my immune system. So it's the end of week 4. We just had a meeting about insurance to kind of recap what we talked about last week. It looks like the people who funded the project haven't run into this situation before with insurance. So there has been a cry for help in order for us to find insurers for the rest of the program. Some programs have contracts to pick up needles, whereas some contracts they cover other things for people to do other things. So with the mixture of what the BEAP program is working to do on the streets, it's hard to find funding for that specific thing, which is ridiculous. How to navigate funding and policies and working with people in order to kind of get what you need. I think I assumed that like you'd bring it to someone above you, higher above you, and then they'd deal with it, and then it would all get resolved, and then you'd move forward, or that kind of situation. But being kind of in the limbo has been really challenging. It's been really difficult to, how do you say to someone like, oh, we have this money, but we can't actually give it to you because of insurance. But then insurance, like, what is insurance going to change for them? Like, they're already living on the street. So, like, now they just don't have insurance, and they don't have money, and they don't have a program to be part of. Especially when people have to be really vulnerable in what they're doing and kind of step out of their comfort zone and confront bias and confront prejudice and kind of be very visible, and then to have that let down is hard to watch. Like, it just breaks my heart, because it's just they're wanting basic funds for basic things that we take for granted. I just can't do anything, and it's annoying. And then I put on a smile, and then I try to think of another plan. Oh my gosh. The ghetto life of a filmmaker. Project is stopped. This is how it goes. I'm just learning how slow things move. There's just so many parts to get something moving, and if you don't connect with the right people at the right time, it just takes a really long time to figure it all out. So that's where we're at, and that's what I'm feeling. Where to begin? So as I've been asking for a miracle, we got insurance now we're able to continue the pilot as planned, as scheduled for the remainder of the weeks, and then throughout the year. They actually got insurance for the whole year, not even just for 2 months. So I am so excited, so pumped about it. Now I get to actually see where this ends up. We get to actually take realistic data and involve the community more. It's just crazy. I don't know. I think there was a point there that I was like, is this ever gonna happen? And then suddenly we get great news. Impact Society is funding the insurance and we get to move forward. So it just started back up this week. We're excited about it. I will keep you all posted on the next steps. Not much to report, but we did get insurance and it is back up and running, and I have restored faith in being able to actually support local change. So that's exciting. The struggles of technology. So we've reached the end of our pilot. I can't believe it. It's been 2 months. It was so fast and so short all at the same time. I have been thinking about kind of what I wanted to talk about in this last video, and kind of like what I've learned and what I've taken away. So I'm gonna summarize it because I would talk for like 5 hours and that's really hard to edit. The first point I've learned is the power of collaboration and the need for collaboration in order for any program to move forward and actually find success. The second thing I'm going to take away from this is the need for wraparound support for people, and that looks different for everyone, but services beyond just like first touch. Change does not happen in a day. Yeah. Programs that are challenging social norms are more difficult to follow through with and continue than those that just meet needs, basic needs, like a checklist. So what does that say about our social programs? Building relationships is half the battle. People can get protective of what they think they deserve. And my final, I think, point that I've learned is that it's critical to be transparent when walking into these types of situations. If your goal is to actually affect local change and support the people on the ground, you have to walk in transparent, and you can't walk in with an agenda. I guess I've learned a lot this pilot, and I can't wait to see it continue well past this 2-month period.